Hi guys, this is the Seattle Ring Hunter, and today I've got a slightly different format just to bring some important issues to light, just for everyone to think about a little bit. Here recently, within the Pacific Northwest, we had a family that actually knew some of my buddies that do some detecting and diving and recovery work in the local area, and some of these guys you're aware of. Basically, here's the open statements. On March 23rd, 2021 was a sunny day in Lewis County. 18-year-old Zach Hines jumped from a trestle into the Chehalis River for fun, something he had done many times and others often do in the area during warm summer months. Due to cold water shock associated with this time of the year, he was unable to swim to shore. Yeah, so this gentleman lives in the area. He's probably recreated and jumped off that bridge 100 times, which neither here nor there, but this was the time that he jumped, that he was overtaken by cold water shock. With this, I want to just open up this discussion a little bit. I want to bring you in a little bit on the activities that took place for the search for Zach, the efforts that were put out, the recovery of Zach for his family so that they would have a proper way to put him to rest and to remember him and the great gentleman and man that he was to his friends and family. But here we are with the Green River behind us as a nice little backdrop, just to remind everybody we're not yet into our summer months, and even in our summer months we lose people due to water safety. So I'm here just to kind of open up a little bit and just to kind of remind people of the factors, the seriousness and the nature of water dangers that sometimes we just don't take fully to heart when we're out recreating. This gentleman was not trying to take his life. His life was taken way too early, and our hearts and prayers go out to the family still to this day. So at this point, after the situation happened, my local buddies, you may know or have seen Corey of Cooper's Amputee Lifestyle, and also Sam the Adventure Man. He's done some work, quite a bit of work with Jared Lysick and the Adventures with Purpose. And if you haven't watched some of those YouTube channels, there's a lot of great works going on with those guys and the things that they've done. I recently became connected with them and developed an acquaintance and a friendship with these guys prior to this incident. And unfortunately, this incident did happen, and some of our locals and some others that I'm not going to mention here that I know actually know the family, as well as Corey knows the family prior to this whole thing taking place. A little background on Corey: he actually does work with search and rescue. He's got a dive team. He's been doing this a number of years and is very skilled and qualified to be able to partake in these activities. So I put that out front, that this wasn't just a bunch of guys that just came off the side of the road and decided to throw on their recreational scuba gear to go out and search for Zach. It's a very safety mitigating situation whenever you get into any active body of water, and you want to definitely be trained, prepared, and have a working understanding of what you're about to get into. So if this is an interest of you and you want to get into this, please reach out to a local organization and a training facility and get the proper basics and training and drills put in before you just jump around in the rivers and think it's no big deal. It's one of the biggest concerns for rescue and recovery guys when they go into active waters, is that we don't want to lose anyone on our team looking for another individual. So with that in mind, at this point, Sam the Adventure Man put out a call to action asking for qualified people or anyone with a willingness to come on out and help with gear. And my efforts on this situation was that I quickly responded and reached out to Corey. I was able to participate a few weeks after the incident. I was able to go out and clear a section of the river. I'm going to roll some footage here and just let you guys kind of see a little bit of what it looks like when you're underneath the river. There's a lot of what we call natural strainers, which would be your logs, your rocks, anything that's an entanglement hazard that would basically catch anybody that's caught underneath the current. It'll grab a hold of you. And the volume of water that's coming, make no mistake about it, you're not going to win a war against nature. You're going to soon quickly tire out, and it's something that you have to be very cognizant about, even for the safety divers, to have gone through drills to understand different techniques on what to do and how to avoid certain situations like that. Actually being loaded down with heavy dive gear and the flow of the river, you got to be extremely careful on where you put yourself in, to constantly be aware of your situational awareness. We don't want to ever suggest or pretend at any level of preparedness that any of us are greater than the forces of nature at hand out here. So this is just kind of the message that we want to drive forward, that we're not here to doom and gloom or to put a damper on anyone's recreational activities. We just want you to think twice before going out and to seriously consider some steps that you can take and maybe find better places to recreate in the water instead of the active waterways. Once again, like I said earlier, people have been overtaken even in the middle of summer just out swimming. So with that, some of the footage as you just seen, it's just a very small amount of all the snags that our rivers have to offer. Very dangerous situation, and this is the reality of our rivers all across the country, to be honest. You know, it's the same situation in a lot of places. Over here in the Pacific Northwest, our water temperatures were bringing a direct call to attention to cold water shock. Unfortunately, that's what overtook Zach. He was in perfect health. He was a great, sturdy 18-year-old gentleman. Even with all that shock to his system overtook him. And unfortunately, that was what took his life, unfortunately. And we're just so sad for the family and for that situation. So with all that, we don't want his loss or his leaving of the earth to be in vain. We want to be able to continue to promote water safety so others are aware of this. After my search, approximately 2 weeks later, I returned to help some more search efforts. Corey and his group of divers were out. We on this day actually brought out my boat that was equipped with sonar, and I was also able to assist with the divers to be able to ferry their dive equipment up and down the river, and also to bring the divers back. As you will see in some of the footage, I want you to key in on how difficult these searches can be and how much energy it actually takes to execute these missions. Just getting out of the water alone after going through a full day's worth of diving and being exhausted is very difficult without the proper equipment. And so the boat was actually there and able to facilitate the divers to get back. We were actually had drifted down the river, and we were almost at the 1 mile mark where we've finally reached. So that is just a lot of area to cover and to walk, even with the heavy dive gear. Even if it was an easy exit of the shore, just right up to a roadside, and you're walking along the road with heavy dive gear, that's enough just to kind of take all the last bit of energy out of you. So having the boat there that day was a big assistance. Everyone was well appreciative. I was happy to be able to assist in that way. Not happy that the situation happened, by no means, but that we were able to go out and give support to the family. I was able to run some sonar down the middle of the river and to be able to look and to provide backup, kind of a shore support to the divers in the water. Okay, you okay on everything?
Yeah, I'm at a 5.
500?
Yeah.
What's your... I just saw him popping. I'll go down there and check on him real quick. I thought I just saw him down there, but let me go look. Yeah, he's fine. He's... Also sad to report, just a few days ago, shortly after Zach's incident, we actually have another situation where there was a local 24-year-old male that was swimming, family on shore. He was recreating in Lake Tapps here locally in our local area, and unfortunately he didn't make it across the lake, and he drowned in the lake, and the local authorities, the dive team, came out and recovered him for the family as well. So with that being said, this is one of the most devastating incidents, losing a family member in this way, and to learn from the property owner with Zach's situation that he was number 18 that the river had taken from that local area, and that trestle that people have been jumping off of. It's basically a footbridge at this point in time, but it is so sad. We don't want a 19 or a 20. So with that being said, here's a call to action to you guys. If you can just take a moment, please, and just look in the description of this video. There's a petition. It's going to be referred to as Zach's Law, and basically it is your call to action because we want people to sign the petition. It's called Prevent Cold Water Drownings in Washington State with Education. The whole point and purpose of me taking the effort to put this video out is to draw light to this petition and to draw light to water safety, so that we don't continue to have more and more of these situations, that we can continue to teach our loved ones, our young ones, and our old ones, and everyone else that we care about around us to be mindful of the reality of water safety at all levels, and a few things that we can do to improve and increase our safety and our awareness while we're around these waterways. My channel is based upon doing recovery, treasure hunting, and that sort of thing. If that is something you're interested in, if you just like to go into the shallow waters, we've had some of our buddies across the country that have been walking around with their metal detector searching for just for recreational finds, or trying to help somebody locate something, and they've been taken by surprise. I mean, sometimes they're in rivers, sometimes they're in lakes. They're stepping around and they've fallen into a hole, and next thing you know, they're from waist high and they're almost up to their neck, and they've got a detector in their hand, or whatever recreational activity these people are doing sometimes, and it's caught them off guard. And we've had some close calls in the last couple of years. Fortunately, they didn't turn into any major incident, but it did really bring to light a few things. And one of those, the most important thing that you can consider, is by the use of a personal flotation device, a PFD, a life vest. As you see me wearing here, I'm not sponsored by any of these brands. This is just one that's been brought to light recently, and it is very good. It's made for adventurous types that are out in the water. As you can see, it's very thin cut. It's a manual inflation. This is by Hyde, but you can see the contour, so I can have full mobility. You can actually swim around with it on as well. So this is one of them. You got your traditional PFD that you'd wear. These are Coast Guard approved PFDs, by the way. This is one that if you fall into a deeper portion of water, it's made for boaters and fishermen, the like. It'll actually automatic, it's an automatic inflation with, it's got the little CO2 compressed air canister in it that inflates these. And like in the Pacific Northwest here, we have a lot of kayakers, so this is more of a traditional, again, it's a Coast Guard approved traditional kayak. It's low cut, but it's got some flotation material for buoyancy inside of it. So with that, I just wanted to kind of point that out, that that's my real call to action for you individually, and to encourage your friends to have some type of flotation. Just another thing, my brother-in-law in years past was training for triathlon, and one of the things that those guys do when they go out swimming, training for triathlon, is it's called a swim buoy, inflatable swim buoy. It's no larger than maybe 2 footballs put together side by side, and it's an inflatable buoy with a little lanyard that you can put on your wrist. And if you swim out into a lake, irregardless of the season, you still have some flotation there. If your muscles and legs start to cramp up, you have something to grab a hold of and keep you above water. So until you can get somebody to help rescue you, or you can rest a bit, stretch your legs out, and then get back to shore, it's a very prudent thing to consider. Like I say, sometimes the older PFDs were real big and bulky. Some of those ones you remember years ago when you used to water ski and such, and you're like, hey, that doesn't seem cool and all. But just to kind of circle back around, I mean, there is options where you can wear something like this. They make them in different colors. If you want one that's in black just to blend in a little bit, this one's a little bit more higher vis, but you can wear these and just kind of see the background. You know, I mean, you got full mobility, and you could do quite a bit of active sports and playing in the water and stuff, if that's something you might want to consider. It's not just for our young ones that are just beginning to learn how to swim, to put a PFD on them. It's, you know, it's becoming more vogue and cool for us adults to even wear these things, to model it for our children and for our young ones, young adults that are out there. I know that there's a lot with young adults and the things that they do, but if we can just put that reminder in a polite way, that we're not preaching to anybody, but just reminding them of this option that they may not have been aware of. And all it takes is one person in their local social group or community to latch on to this concept, and by doing so, they can kind of set a trend or a standard and say, hey guys, you know, we're out here, we're having a lot of fun, and we're doing a lot of this stuff. It would probably be smart not just to leave the PFD in the boat while we're out doing our water sports, but to actually be wearing it. So if we do fall out of our boat, or we fall off the dock and we're doing some crazy activities and kind of, you know, doing whatever we do, that, you know, if you have something on and available to you, it could potentially save your life. And it has saved a lot of people's lives over the years. I know I'm sounding a little bit older in my age, kind of like old grandpa telling you guys what to do. It's not about that. It's just that we're very sad to see a family lose somebody in such a situation like this. So with that, with the rain in the background here, I want to bring this to a close. I just thank you and appreciate all of my fans that are out there and the people that have been following my channel. I want to take this opportunity to say that I just wanted to share this with you, and hope that you can share this on social media so more people are aware of water safety and what we can do to think things through a little bit better, because we certainly don't want to lose our loved ones. We don't want our own selves to be put into peril or jeopardy because we just got careless and decided to have some fun recreation. Got away with it a bunch of times before, and we've been doing this. We got this. Hey, I got this. I got that. Well, the reality is sometimes, you know, it's very difficult to win a battle with Mother Nature in these situations. So with that, I don't want to belabor the point, but I do want to encourage you as a final thought. Please go to the description in the bottom of this video and sign the petition. It would be a great help to us locally here in Washington State. And if you're from another state, if you want to start spearheading some of these actions and social activities and getting more awareness for PFD life vest usage, or just even having a better education around our waterways, do anything and all that you can to promote that and to promote proper dive safety and scuba dive training. That would be really amazing. It's close to us because this is in the Pacific Northwest. We have water everywhere. And like I said, just recently lost another individual just doing a recreational swim. Wasn't even trying to, probably not even trying to show off so much, just out trying to cool off and have a good time. And it turned into basically a tragedy. So with that right now, I just want to take a little bit of a moment of silence and for the friends and family of those that are lost due to water situations. And we'll close the video out with that. Thank you once again. Be safe. Thanks for watching and your support, and let's go ahead and enter into the rest of 2021 with a positive note on how we can be safer and encourage those around us to be safer around our waterways. Thank you.